Alright, so I don't know. Part 2 ended off. Because I noticed that it turned in. Alright. The climb down into the sewers is long and tedious. Leader's injuries means you have to go more slowly than either of you would like, but you would make it to the bottom unharmed. It seems your fears of an ambush were unfounded. The sewer tunnel is about as disgusting as you expect. Mosshank's lantern casts an eerie orange glow across the eroding brick walls, sending cockroaches and rats scrambling back through the crevices away from the light. You can't help but notice Leader stumbling a little as she walks down the tunnel. With nothing but the best of intentions, you offer her arm to help stabilize her. Leader bristles. I told you I'm fine, she snaps. I don't need your help. I think if I could successfully fend off a bloodthirsty monster, I could manage to walk down a damn tunnel on my own. Leader huffs. I shouldn't have brought that up, she mutters, but I suppose you would have found out eventually. She reaches into the ruined folds of her skirt and pulls out a long obsidian knife. Strange symbols cover it from end to end. Part of the handle is wrapped in red cloth. I bought it at an auction a few years ago, she says. I'll admit, There's a very dim light at the end of the tunnel, and it gets closer and closer until suddenly the tunnel opens into a recessed, cavernous area where the tunnel intersects another. The dim light that led you here shines down from a sewer grate in the ceiling, and what illuminates is a horror show. The walls are lined with piles and piles of mutilated rat corpses, along with a few larger ones that you refuse to scrutinize too closely. The monster from the street above is curled up pathetically at the corner of it all, surrounded by still murky water. The moonlight coming through the grate casts bars of light across the malted hide. The gashes from Leader's knife yawn wide across its arm, and the edge of them seem to be hissing and letting off steam. Leader grabs your arm, shaking you from your horrified reverie. She points across the cavern to the largest pile of rats. You squint, and there, barely peeking out of the mound, is the corner of the book. There's something you should know, Leader whispers as the creature billows in pain again. There's a reason the dean was so vague about the stolen book. It's incredibly valuable, rumored to have, well, supernatural powers. That's why I brought the knife with me during the investigation. Given everything we've seen tonight, I think it's pretty safe to say that the book, the Necronomicon, might be the real deal. And if it is, it might be able to help us kill that thing. She gives you a meaningful look. So I'm going to run and get it. I need you to distract that thing while I do. She narrows her eyes, the corner of her lips quirking upwards. Properly this time. She darts off without an answer, delicately skirting across the wall to the other side of the room. You take a deep breath and let it out in the loudest scream you can manage. If the professor wants a distraction, that's what you get. And this certainly serves to get the monster's attention. The creature head whips up and looks directly at yours, and it lets out a gut-wrenching shriek of its own, and then it charges. You turn tail and run back the way you came as fast as your legs will carry you. Thanks to the adrenaline coursing through your veins, it's pretty fast. You can only avoid the creatures for so long, though. Even wounded, it's faster than you could ever be. You glance back just in time to see what the monster leaps forward, jaws wide open. You surprise yourself with your own reflexes in a feat of true acrobatic prowess. You duck and roll on the oncoming monster. It lands with a splash and empty jaws. You're winded now, though, and the creature seems to know this. It advances slower this time, with the certainty of an animal about to capture its exhausted prey. It seems that despite your best efforts, you're ultimately no match for a giant, otherworldly monster, even a wounded one. The creature is so close you can smell its breath, a foul, necrotic stink that nearly makes you gag. Its jaws open. Alright, sorry about that, guys. So I am using the AZ Screen Recorder app for Android. The app is not worth the time and effort because it keeps shutting off for no reason. So I'm a little bit irritated. Alright. So you brace yourself as Leader reads from another page of the book, but it's not enough to prepare you for the thunderous roar that follows. You barely have time to blink before the monster comes barreling out of the tunnel. It skids down the side of the cavern, breaking the ritual circle on its way down. Fix it, Leader cries, no longer chanting. It won't work if the circle's broken. The creature is either no longer injured or no longer cares about its own well-being. It plows towards you as you scramble toward the broken circle, but you duck and slide between its legs. The monster's momentum carries it into the wall and it makes contact with a sickening crunch. A few of the boils along its back and side burst, spewing black fluid. You turn your attention to the circle. You fall to your knees in the murky water and shove the rows of dead rats back into place the best you can. Leader starts chanting. Behind you, the monster yanks itself free from the wall and turns its attention to Leader. You throw yourself to the side, launching bodily into the monster's flank. A few black pustules pop underneath you. Both you and the monster go sprawling to the floor, almost exactly in the center of the ritual circle. Leader's chanting reaches a fever pitch. The monster's movement slow to a crawl. You throw yourself on top of it, knocking it into its stomach prone. The creature shoulders with its entire body, then its flesh starts to ripple. You watch with horror as the monster beneath you sizzles and wraps, howling in pain as its body shrinks unevenly. Its skin loses its gray and purple hues, and the boils on its head burst and drain away. Steam, smoke rises from every inch of its shifting form, and through it all you keep the creature pinned to the ground, keeping it from breaking away to disrupt the ritual circle. When Leader finally finishes chanting, all that's left of the monster is a man. You stand on shaky legs. The man who just moments ago been a giant thrashing beast lies unnaturally still. His skin is pale, almost waxy. Leader stumbles towards you, and you jerk back reflexively. But Leader just approaches the limp man and carefully uses the toe of her boot to turn him over. The man's eyes, now visible, are completely lifeless, covered in a milky film. His mouth is slack and white-lipped. This is not a man, it's a corpse. Alright. The strain is too much and fairly human mind and insanity. Alright. Well, was doing good, but went insane, which was complete crap because we took 17 and 1 below, which wasn't fair. But we'll try again, chapter 3, another time, and I'll figure out why the screen recorder app AZ keeps shutting off.